Hi everybody, Tony Margaritelli here, Chairman at ICP, and welcome to another of my In Practice blogs. This was a gentleman who basically completed his tax return online, did everything perfectly well. It turned out he owed, I think, in the order of about £800. Ticked the relevant box to say, can you collect my money via a PAYE coding in the following year. Thought life was grand, sent it down the wire and left it at that. Of course, next thing that happens is he gets a fine in the order of about £40 because HMRC never adjusted his code number. Now, there's the rights and wrongs on this one. I mean, if you actually read what HMRC put out, they say, we will try. It's those sort of terms. The fact of the matter is that the guy ticked the return, he expected it to go through a PAYE code number. No, he didn't check his code number had been amended, but then did he always receive his notifications of code number every time? Who the heck knows? But HMRC decided to issue a fine and then, of course, to pursue it and to take it to the tribunal. And the tribunal, of course, said, oh, well, it's the law. We can't actually use common sense on this one. We can't do fair. We have to do the law. So the poor gentleman's got stuck with his £40 fine. And frankly, it's a joke. It's an absolute disgrace. Simple answer to that, most certainly yes. Agents, taxpayers, all we're getting is a output from HMRC, oh, avoidance, all we want is people to pay their taxes on the due date, etc., etc. Yet, strangely enough, they omit what the taxpayer might say, which is all we want is HMRC to behave efficiently and effectively. They're trying to be effective, they're not efficient, and this is where we're getting the problem. They cannot be efficient because they seem to be unable to do anything. Simply, there's not enough human involvement. So when you don't get human involvement, you don't get a compassionate side. All you keep seeing, all we keep getting is, you know, we're going to hammer this, we're going to hammer that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And we get the case like the Ross case where the gentleman gets fined £40, I suppose because he didn't read the form 100% correctly. Yet, these are the same HMRC who cannot, I'm going to keep saying it, who cannot repay limited company refunds on time, who cannot answer anything like a reasonable number of phone calls within a reasonable time scale, and who most certainly can't seem to open a letter within weeks. But there you go. One wonders what the next one's going to be. I mean, we seem to have had a task force into absolutely everything. Strangely enough, unless I missed it, we haven't seen a task force into accountants. But no doubt that's liable to come at some juncture. Look, these task forces, and there's absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever within HMRC of the organisation setting up places of excellence where certain employees specialise in certain types of income and industry. Perfectly reasonable. But why on earth are we pushing it out to the world? We've set up a task force in this. If you're in this area, we're going to come and we're going to get you. We're setting up a task force to look into absolutely almost every single walk of business life. Because why? Because apparently they need it. Why? Because apparently everyone's avoiding or evading their tax. Come on, that's nonsensical. If they need to look into certain industries, get on with your job, do it efficiently, do it in the background. You don't have to keep battering us into submission with a constant outpouring that we're going to catch you. And let's never forget the Hills Have Eyes campaign, which is still ongoing. In fact, it's one of the few things that is always on when you go to HMRC and look at what's new in an announcement. There it is, the eyes looking out for you, trying to catch you. Astonishing. Of course, people can put in complaints, but in terms of most individuals, most small businesses, common sense comes into play, and people just walk away having what I call a shake your head moment, muttering under their breath, because they cannot afford to, not just in terms of economics, but also in terms of their physical well-being, because they know they're going to get angrier and angrier about the whole thing. HMRC feel perfectly at liberty to constantly bombard us without pourings about this person doing wrong, these people doing wrong. If you've got one chance now to put this right because you're all doing it wrong. Now, of course, we've got the wonderfully named transparent benchmarking team. Now there's a wonderful transparent, except to the fact they don't tell us who the heck they are. So how can it be transparent? But there you go, that's just me. They're out and about now telling us all that they've looked into what gross profit margins are for certain areas. I believe it's painters and decorators or whatever. And HMRC are now telling us what GP margin you make. And if it's got it wrong, it couldn't be because you're actually not making that much. You've probably overclaimed your expenses. And you better not do that, because otherwise we're going to have a task force on it. You know, this is what's going on. HMRC need agents and taxpayers to work together within the system to make it work. At the moment, HMRC are literally just saying, oh, we've got all these wonderful new powers, we've got all this lovely money, let's spend it and we're going to get more money. They're concentrating on economics and they've lost sight of the human element.